Good morning, legends. We're here for our 3 Saturday games analysis here. And this game, the Tigers versus the Dolphins, they're pretty well played out exactly how we would have thought, to be honest with you. Although, not sure if we would have thought Api Coruscant would be bang on from the sideline as a penalty goal for them to win. But definitely thought it was going to be a close one, especially when Luke Brooks went down. You thought Tigers had the edge before that. And with him getting injured during the week, that it would be a lot closer than that. And both teams showed plenty of fight and obviously plenty of will to win, which is great, especially for two teams down near the bottom of the ladder. And yeah, just for the Tigers to get a win, great work to them. Dolphins probably deserve one as well after trying so hard in recent weeks as well. So yeah, good on Appy. And the Tigers, good to see them get excited though, that's for sure. And Simpkin, well done. If you still own him, hilarious, but amazing, because yeah, I really hope you could have played him or looped him or something there in that one, because the 72 in the 72 minutes, he was great. A lovely try at a dummy half. He just had the one penalty, no missed tackles in there, no errors. Big congratulations to Simpkin. I don't know what's happened with Papali'i. He's decided to have a crack the last few weeks, and it was visibly easy. It was very easy to see, that he wasn't getting involved in as much. He wasn't trying as hard, in my opinion, defensively. And yeah, on the offensive side, they are giving him a lot more ball than they were before. So it's just happening on both sides of it. And you're adding his offload to his game, a few tackle breaks in there as well. But as I said, defensively, he's chopping hard. He's hitting really hard as well, which he wasn't for that mid part of the season. So I'm not sure exactly what, maybe it's hard to work out with footy because they're all playing with some type of injury, some type of niggle. Sometimes it's worse than others, and you maybe during times in the year that could have been happening, or they're just trying to finish the season really well. It's hard to tell with a lot of these squads that seem to they have a lot of faith at the start of the season, then it goes really bad for them, and a lot of them kind of the effort isn't there just because that they're getting smashed. Who knows on that front? But these last few weeks have been massive for my squad, for his ability to show that he can still do what he did at the Eels, and it's not just at one team. Like, he was okay at the Warriors, amazing at the Eels, and then he's just been okay, I'd say, at the Tigers as well. So good to see him being much better. Twali, 68. I was actually thinking at halftime, and one of the other guys mentioned it. He goes, "Oh, geez, nice to see Twali just bringing back some vintage fantasy form." He was 53 off the 40 minutes at halftime, and his effort, actually, out of all their forwards, there was a bunch of runs that Clemmer did, a bunch of runs that Bolle did that were great. But Twali is just picking gaps and running at them, and it's working out well. He got 3 tackle breaks and offload to hand as well. No missed tackles, and just incredible work from him. So he just has those runs, doesn't he? He's averaging 45 for the season, but in recent time that's been not so high because he's down at 560 and has improved since then in this game. So yeah, it was fun to see that. Aiken is 66 on his time on the edge, so really gets involved. Obviously, is great for fantasy, but what we know there is close to the line. It was basically 2 tries in a row that he let through due to mistakes of him coming out of the line, and then a pretty lazy-ish miss really close to the line as well, back to back, which was frustrating for coach, I'd imagine, and it looked like the other players were a little bit annoyed, like what the hell are you doing running out of the line like that? So not good. Coruscant 62 on his one. So yeah, really, really big game. Obviously played in the halves, 219 kick meters. He kicked goals. Obviously got that penalty to finish, and just really on his front, 5 missed tackles, fairly normal. Ran the footy plenty, so great work from him in the 7 jersey. If you do own him in your side, that worked out really, really well as a looper or just playing him in your starters. Good stuff there. There's a fair few decent scores in this. There's a bunch of players over the 50 mark, which is great. Asuka Boa had a really good game as well. I was impressed by him. And then Trey Fuller, 53 in 47 minutes. Welcome to the party, young man. Man, that try was good. Super strong, super elusive, just ability to stay on his feet. The balance there was really, really good. So congrats to Fuller there on an awesome debut. Good on him. And that one, Sullivan, much better. So he's kind of getting back to some of his earlier season form. He had a couple of decent ones in a row now, I believe, from memory. Polly, another try for him. 50 for Bateman. So there was one there, he should have got a turnover tackle, which I was pretty upset about. But for Bateman now, I think we're limping towards the end of the season with him. If we can get a 50 on him each and every week, I think we're sweet with that. Just for him, less involvement, and when he's getting involved, it's a little bit more just running straight, out of trouble kind of thing. There was one he ran sideways. I thought he got an extra tackle break as well. Apparently not. Yeah, just thought that was just a little bit annoying. We could have snuck into about a 55, which wasn't to be. But yeah, I think we're just limped to the end of the season with 50s for him, and probably not looking to grab him next year, I'd imagine, even though he'll be somewhere around that 730 or something where he is right now. Unless the salary cap changes, which I don't think it will. Dane Laurie's still doing some good things. Stefano, I think he's getting better every week as a footy player, which is good. Runs the ball, gets plenty of post-contact meters there, doing well. Sarko, a lovely try. He had Riley there as well in his first game for him, 41 in this one. So he had a couple of really good tackles as well. So 22 tackles for no misses at centre is very impressive. So that's great signs for the Tigers to have someone that can come in and defensively not be an issue. He had one really good hit close to the line as well. It was awesome work for him. Wallace a bit down, 7 missed tackles, frustrating for him. From there, there's only a few other guys of relevance. Dream Buller, 35, had a bit in this one. He had a try assist there, 3 offloads, and still only 35 in this type of game is pretty frustrating, to be honest. But yeah, 35, you cop it over some of the other scores. Blory, 31 in 26 minutes. I still don't know why he's not getting the minutes, but I suppose Clemmer, Bolle, and also Clemmer and Stefano all did a really good job through the middle there. And then Clemmer only 32 minutes. So, yeah, he's been a fall from grace, old Dave, at the moment, that's for sure. And then Harrison Graham. So, 52 minutes is just a little less than what he'd been getting previously. And surprisingly enough for him, he started really, really well. He had a quick run with an offload in there. He was tackling really hard. Thankfully, they took around. There was a turnover tackle that he wasn't even a part of. He wasn't even close to, well, he was close to it, but yeah, not even part of. And they gave him the turnover tackle. I'm glad that they actually took that away just for consistency's sake. Because we had the Bateman ones that I was talking about, and then Graham ones here, they actually did that one. But yeah, frustrating. If you brought him in and played him, I'm very thankful to everyone in my comments that told me that maybe probably worth holding the trade, and yeah, definitely was, because I would have got 2 more points than that of Penasini. And once I kind of looked at it a little bit more, I was like, well, okay, well, I can see if Penasini can score well, and if he doesn't, then I can just play Max King. I was thinking that Graham could get somewhere in the 40s pretty comfortably, but I suppose Max King can do that as well. And it looks like I'm going to need the trade for next week. So if you did bring Graham in, thankfully you do have hooker cover. And when Harry Grant went off for his HIA, you were going, oh, sweet, at least I've got some hooker cover, whereas I don't. So yeah, 27 for him, not great. Hopefully he's better for the run next week. He does have a crack, and that's the biggest thing, the most important thing there. Just had a few negatives on that front as well. Move to the second game of the week, and that's the Titans and the Panthers. And welcome back to Dylan Edwards, 80 in this one. He was everywhere, 303 meters. They mentioned about almost at halftime that he was on track for about 300 meters, and he got it. Obviously a longer range try, 40 meters or so off the Crichton pass. Just showed that showed his class, Edwards, finally. It's been way too long, and the guys that hopefully have held faith and were able to play him and picked up an 80. Because, you guys deserve that. You copped so much throughout the last sort of month or so, and you deserve this 80, so well done. But strange that this isn't him week to week. Like, obviously, some games suit certain players, but he's an effort guy, and, I think the Titans kind of fell off him a little bit, and, he just got so many more runs than he had been. Like, for him to get 300 meters compared to other games where he's getting under 100 in recent time is really strange. Fafita kind of doing his thing, started really slowly. And thankfully moved on to a really, really good score. Obviously, most people are owning him, especially top 100. Top 1,000's a little bit less, but still, it's not the biggest deal if he doesn't score well. But we did buy him for a reason, and you could wish that you didn't buy him if he wasn't scoring that well. But thankfully, 80 minutes to 68 for him was great. Cleary to 63 as well. So if you did captain Nico Hines, congratulations. You beat out Cleary by 27 points, and Cleary captained us by 27 points. Not a lot for him in this game. Kick meters were the big one that was really down. Run meters at 70. It's a little bit low as well. Tackling 19 for 2 is fine. 2 try assists there. It wasn't a lot going on across the board. If he's getting that big kick meters like he normally does, there's probably an extra 10 points, and you sit at 73, and you're like, that's completely fine with the goal kicking and not scoring a try himself. So we'll cop 63 and move on. Peachy, 63, he's had such a good season. I'm very impressed by him this year. He suits this Panther system so well. Isaiah Yeo, 57, when he went over for that try, I was like, are you kidding me? It was the softest try. He was going really, really slow too. Ended up at like 33 at halftime. Without the try, I think I had 2 or 3 tackle breaks in it as well. Without the try, he'd be sitting close to like 15 at halftime, and I would have been loving that. But I was, thankful that it it didn't get out of hand. It could have been a 50 or 40 minutes very easily, and thankfully a 5-minute rest for us non-owners, because he's pretty highly owned now in, I think, the 30-odd% mark, and just continues to do it. When he scores a try, it just gets scary. But thankfully, it didn't work out as much. Tackling-wise, didn't have to be involved and had the 3 misses and an error in this one. Tino, there's a little bit of a worry that he was injured, but he seemed to be fine. Came back for 55 in 59 minutes. And yeah, he just really looks like he's accumulating points very easily. So definitely another option if you have one trade left. Both for Awake at big minutes as well. They just couldn't get the win. Crichton was good. Brimson was good. For those that still own him, there might probably not too many. Cleese Haas, a lovely try early. Great line run. Tom Weaver, great pass from that one. Randall, yeah, just not getting the run meters that he was when he was in the middle forward. And if he ever plays in the middle forward rotation again, just instantly get him in your side, because any other position, it's just not the same. Definitely not the same. But he's going to be fairly expensive coming into next year, that's for sure. Martin there, the 44. Jolliffe, the 44. Kelly, 43. All solid scores there on those guys, but yeah, not super relevant. Weaver, good, decent first game, but it was expected that he'd miss a bunch of tackles against the Panthers. But what about 737 kick meters to begin your career? Yeah, obviously he showed that Titans were kicking out their end a lot more, and Panthers were right down the other end, because Cleary's meters gained a lot of small kicks in there. Cogger, 44 minutes in the 9 position with Kenny being out. Was very interesting at that. Khan Pereira with a decent try and still only getting 20. So, yeah, he's going to be very cheap again next year. He's going to be one of those guys that could have a bit of a run and do well, and then just not be a factor. So, probably be the same next year. Okay, Storm get through a tight one against the Dragons. Dragons end up... Did they take the lead? Yeah, well, they took the lead really early. I mean, in the second half. Yeah, I think it was very close at one point, and then Storm obviously pulled away in the last sort of 20 minutes there. But Eli Katoa, very, very impressive in this game, and just showed what he can do. Pick up a double, pick up a try assist as well. Very, very good news for him. Just to have the one missed tackle, they're going to really need him, I think, coming into finals time. He's a very important player. And that right side is absolutely humming at the moment. You had Warbrick with 3 tries, a 76 for him. How good. Anyone who still owns him, all the teams, all the players that haven't been trading in the last sort of 3 months or so, would still have Warbrick sitting in that starting wing fullback slot and killing it. So happy days for those guys. We'll shout them out, the guys that aren't playing anymore. And then Hughes, he's really, really coming into his own now. And again, this is where they are their best, when they've got Hughes there. And then sounds like Pap had a little bit of an injury, a little bit of an injury scare at training, so he might not be back next week. He might just come into the fray in the last round. But when they've got Hughes humming, obviously Munster doing his thing, didn't have to do a lot in this game, obviously, but yeah, and then Pap at the back or off the bench, or however they're going to play that, like they've had Hines off the bench, that they're going to play their best. So yeah, very exciting for Storm with Hughes coming back into his own, which is good, and he's a very solid option over the last few weeks. I think if they're not looking to rest any of their players, he's one of those guys that's getting involved in everything, and he'll be having a lot of confidence now that he's starting to hit his straps. Sully, Coates, Burns, big scores there, 55 apiece to all of those guys. Happy days for Burns owners. He did have 10 missed tackles, but 2 tries in there to still get 55. He works hard. A lot of misses. Obviously, he's trying hard in that department. He would have 41 if he made them all. To go along with all the attacking stats, there's a lot going on. Blake Lowry, we spoke about a bunch of weeks ago. He's averaged pretty close to 50 over those 3 weeks. So, yeah, if you had to grab him as a mid, worked out all right at that weird price. Grant, the HIA, still picked up 50, so we'll take it, guys. Wasn't a lot in this game. Big tackle numbers, obviously, some 65 meters run and a forced dropout. That was fine. Ben Hunt tried his ass off, but just wasn't to be in this one, and they got absolutely crunched by Eli Katoa at the end. So it wasn't just the attack for Ellie, it was that defensive side as well, with 49 for Ben Hunt. But yeah, and he's chasing everyone down, and he's still really trying. So that's the good news with him. You always know he's going to try hard. He just doesn't want to be in that situation. Meany the 49 for anyone still kicking with him, or 43 for Sloan. Solid all round. Nothing spectacular about what you expect for both of them. And Little low, 29 in the 30 minutes. But yeah, obviously PPM's good. We had Munster the 25 and Dan Russell the 25. So 2 guys that we're beginning to see some consistency out of, and then they have a bit of a shocker. Munster ended up 6 missed tackles. That kind of accumulated really quickly in that second half. He was down at like 1 or 2, and then that quickly went up. Run meters were at 98. Kick meters were really low at 88, so they were obviously making plenty of meters because Hughes didn't kick for a lot either. He's in the mid 200s. Not much not many run meters, and when you're not kicking much as a half, it's just not going to happen. So very frustrating against the Dragons, especially. And you hope that he bounces back next week. There's obviously a lot going on with him off the field, with his wife looking to, about to have their second child. So maybe that played a part, but he just wasn't really involved. And then Dan Russell, 8 missed tackles, so he wasn't able to turn around. He was pretty low at half time, 15 to 20, and then only got up to 25 in that whole second half, which is very frustrating. And then Marion Seve, a low one for him, surprisingly. That right side was humming, but nothing for Seve or for Tonamapia, both centres there. Was didn't expect that, but that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed those 3 games. We've got 2 games to go. I think past score this week, 3 players left. If you want to kind of hold ranks today, I think 3 will work well. If you have 4, I think you'll make ranks. 2, you'll probably lose a few. So that's where you're at. Anything above 4, obviously you're going to climb through the ranks. So good luck in this one. I think it's going to be a good week for myself. Definitely be making ranks. It'll just be how many, with the likes of Murray being lower owned. Horsburgh, he's under 100%. Pong is the 100% guy. And then we've got Max King, who's a very low ownership as well. Really just going to depend on how guys like Latrell go as well. Do they go nuts and beat me out? We'll see. Good luck, guys. See you later.